Hey guys, it's Jose.
And Alicia.
And Marissa.
And it is what it is.
is.
Wow, delay there, girls. Anywho, this is a brand new show about pretty much when we talk about everything.
And everything.
Because at the end of the day, it is what it is. How you ladies doing today?
I'm okay.
I'm okay. What about you?
I don't really know how I feel about today.
Why is that?
Because I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of miss 2019.
I think everyone does.
Think so?
I think so.
I miss 2019 because...
in 2019, the worst thing we had to worry about was Donald Trump.
Agree.
We've had to worry about him for the past 4 years.
I
know what
know.
you're talking about.
But that was like the worst thing. And now it's like we're worrying about Donald Trump, a pandemic, riots on the streets, police killing people. I mean, police have been killing people for a long time.
Yeah, you know what it feels like, honestly? Like you got a basket filled with little papers and it's like a raffle and you put your hand in there and you just take one. What's today? Ass whooping. Okay.
The universe is like, what's happening this month? Oh!
But like everything's happening at the same time.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's the major issue that we have right now. It's like we cannot concentrate on just one thing that's going on. Now we got multiple things that we got to worry about. We just don't have to worry about our health now, but we actually got to worry about safety and other people taking your health away. Like, that's insane.
Because now, like 2 months ago, the biggest worry that we had was me going to Walmart to buy groceries and bringing something home to you that was going to make you sick.
Yep.
And now it's like, not only do we have to worry about me going to Walmart and getting sick and bringing it home to you, but we have to worry about what if there's rioters or looters or protesters or cops or...
Well, in that case, you'll get some stuff for free.
Bring me my money.
And we live in a really small city.
We do. And for right now, it's peaceful. I'm grateful for that, you know.
But we have protests.
But they're peaceful.
Peaceful protest, yeah.
But my thing about that protest is I understand what happened. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it should have never happened. I mean, it's hard enough to be a black person, but as a brown person as well, I'm kind of grateful that I never experienced that in my life because that's just horrible too.
Okay, well, let me give you a different perspective as a white person that's been with you for 8 years. You have experienced that.
Right, but I don't pay attention to it because it never brings nothing good.
You are so used to being discriminated against that you don't realize it.
Because I don't really care. It's hard, you know, to be a brown or a black person nowadays because you're discriminated regardless of what you do. I mean, you could be a great, successful Latino, Mexican, Puerto Rican, or a successful black person, lawyer, rapper, NBA star, football player, whatever. But at the end of the day, dude, you still get discriminated regardless of what you do.
Because you're brown.
Because of the color of the skin, yeah. Exactly. And that is the problem that we're having right now is the fact that I cannot believe in 2020, which started already, excuse my language, fucked up, we still have this going on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's just wrong.
I mean, like, as a white person who is very, very white, I have the privilege of I can walk into a store and nobody looks twice at me. I can do anything and get away with it. I mean, like, I could do something terrible and I don't have to worry about getting hurt by the police or shot by the police or anything like that. I have a history, I have a record. You, on the other hand, you've done everything right your entire life, but you're brown.
Yeah.
And so you automatically, if you get pulled over, they ask you to step out of the vehicle.
Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm about to interrupt you for a second, but if me and her were to get pulled over in a car, me being the Hispanic that I am, I would probably be on the ground being tased or being harassed versus she'll probably just get out the car, stand up and with her arms crossed up and just wondering what's going on because the focus isn't going to be on her. It's going to be on me.
Even though I'm the one that's probably in the wrong.
Yeah.
Because
But-
I'm the one that's got a criminal record and you're the one who doesn't. But it doesn't matter because they don't.
Well, can I say something?
Yeah.
Can I say this with respect?
Yeah.
Girls, will you do the chat with me? Because at the end of the day,
It
it is what it is.
is.
It's the truth. Like, we're racial couple, a racial couple. Sorry.
Interracial couple.
Yeah. Thank you for correcting me. An interracial couple. So right then and there, it's a problem. It is a problem for everybody else, but it's not a problem to us. It's just like, what defines the skin color? Like, what right do we have to judge? Like, you know, I'm not a God person. Like, I believe in God, but I'm like not in church 24/7. You know what I'm saying? But the Bible tells you, thou shalt not judge, right? So who are we to judge? You know what I'm saying?
But we live in the Bible Belt.
But yeah, exactly. Because people see things differently.
Well, I mean, Marissa, what is your experience as a mixed girl
And I know it's
that
going to be hard
passes
because,
as Hispanic?
yeah, she's 100% white. I'm 100% Salvadoreño. You got mixed with white and Salvadoreño.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes it depends on the situation because sometimes it feels like I'm not wanted in either category. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
makes perfect sense.
Because if I'm not fully white, I don't fully fit in with the white kids. But since I'm half white, I don't fully fit in with my other half. So I'm in a dilemma here where it's kind of hard to choose because you have to act a certain way with these people and a certain way with these other people.
But isn't it ridiculous that you feel like you have to choose to begin with?
I mean, at somebody your age, you shouldn't be like choosing. You know, you shouldn't choose who you want to be. Like, I think that's hard by itself right there. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you get away with just being white, but you can't tell nobody I'm mixed because then they start questioning you. You know what I'm saying? But she has an option to say, hey, I'm white and half Salvadoreño, but you get passed just as white.
But I mean, like, we live in very rural Missouri. So it's like she can't tell people she's Salvadoreña because they don't know what that means. They think like, oh, so you're Mexican. And that's just the only option she has. She's either white or Mexican. And there's no way for her to tell people that her culture is completely different. Like, she can't tell people, no, I'm Salvadoreña. My dad came here on a plane. Like, my dad is legal. I'm a citizen. It's not, she doesn't have an option to say anything like that. It's either you're white or you're Mexican, and that's it. And those are the only options she has.
It's like you're gonna have to like hide your true self. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, it's like it's hard because you being who you are and not being a white American, although you are an American, it's like we have to give you the talk.
Yeah.
And it's not even that talk. It's like the police talk. Like, how crazy is it?
Yeah.
Like
white people, we have a talk with our kids. And our talk is about don't have sex without condoms and don't do drugs and don't drive drunk. And that's our talk. But then whenever you have a child who is brown or black,
hey,
our
I'll
talk...
let you know right now. You do this. Hey, pray to God you don't get pulled over.
Yeah.
Pray to God you don't get pulled over because it's hard. And you have to go into detail. And you got to say that to your kids if you're a mixed family. I mean, that's sad. Like I said, and I just don't understand why the targets are people of color. I don't get that.
But I mean, like, it comes all the way down to, like, there's been times when, so me and Marissa went to the grocery store and we were buying groceries and you remember the day I bought a bottle of wine and they asked for your ID and I said, this is my daughter. And they just looked at us. And I mean, Marissa is not my biological daughter. She's my stepdaughter, but she is my daughter. And so I'm like, this is my daughter. And the girl just looked at me like it was completely outside the realm of possibility that my daughter could be brown when I am so pale. And I mean, she just was just looking at me like, and I was so offended because this is my daughter. This is a girl I've helped raise since she was 8 years old. And she's 15 now. Like, this is my daughter. And I mean, like, even when it comes to just going to the gas station, and my friends that work at the gas station that have never seen me with Marissa, and they're like, oh, is this your friend? And I'm like, no, it's my daughter. They cannot wrap their head around the fact that I have a daughter who is brown.
I think I've only been mistaken once that I was your brother.
My
Remember
teacher.
that? Yeah.
My teacher, she was like,
Yeah.
is this your brother? And I was like, no, this is actually my dad.
Like, how old was he when he had you? 12? Man. But can I comment on something real quick, though?
Yeah.
Okay. So, going back to the racial thing, right? Everybody gets treated differently. But I'm so amazed how some racist people are so hypocritical.
Every racist person is hypocritical.
Yeah, but when you see it right then and there happening right there, it just like, then why are you complaining about everything? I'm going to let my daughter tell you guys, we went to a store, okay?
Oh my
A
gosh.
store. And this lady had a problem. But the problem she had boggled my mind because I was like, then why are you complaining?
What are you talking about?
Marissa.
Okay, so basically, this lady went up to the cashier and asked a question. She was like, do you have any more of these like solar panels in the back? And the cashier was like, no, actually, we're not having like any new items come in because Trump closed China from importing goods to the US. And this lady was like, that darn country.
But she
Talking
still
about China.
wanted the products from China.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at. I was like, how are you going to complain and talk crap about other people that are providing you with the stuff that you need? Like, you're gonna tell, damn that country, or that country ain't no good, they're just pieces of crap, but then you want their product?
Yeah.
Like, you guys realize that iPhones are made in China, right?
Okay, well, can I tell a story that I'm sure you'll remember as soon as I start to tell it?
All right.
Okay, so we used to live in a very small town, and everybody in that town knew you and loved you because you were a server at the most popular Mexican restaurant.
I was Mexican number 11 in that town.
But everybody knew you and loved you, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we went to Applebee's with your friend who only spoke Spanish. And you speak both English and Spanish fluently, correct?
No.
Yes, you do. So we were at Applebee's, and you guys were speaking Spanish, and there was a lady that you had waited on at the Mexican restaurant 100 times, sitting right there, and got offended because you guys were speaking Spanish and asked to be moved because she didn't want to listen to it.
I would actually throw hands.
But how do you distinguish between a person that wants to be nosy in your conversation and having a private conversation? Like, where do you split that in the middle?
And I think that's a big part of people who are racist is they are afraid. They're afraid of what they don't understand.
Look, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I speak both languages. If you're in front of me and I have something to say about you, believe me, I'm not going to say it in my language. I will straight up talk to you in your language so you can understand the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just saying that.
But you
So
don't
that
ever have to have a confrontation because I always do it for you.
Yeah, I just hide in the shadows.
Lucky Karen, not gonna lie.
I'm such a Karen sometimes.
Yeah, you are. You are.
I mean, you got into a fight with Border Patrol that one time and I just snapped out and they just let us go.
Well, because like I said, again, skin color. It doesn't matter if you tell them you're an American citizen or you got papers or whatever. To them, color is what matters.
Yeah, because I'm white. So they said, "Are you an American citizen?" I said, "Yes, I am." They never asked me for ID, nothing. They said, "Are you an American citizen?" You said, "No," but
Let me paint the picture real quick. I was in a tractor trailer owned by an American company.
a
Okay.
huge
A
company.
huge company that owns about maybe 60% of the truckers out there. And border of Arizona, we get pulled over. I got asked if I'm an American citizen. I'm here legally. I am not an American citizen. I am here legally. And she said, "You a citizen?" When I said I was a permanent legal resident, all hell broke loose, dude.
And then my hell broke loose.
Oh my God. Like, this guy had a hard time accepting that the company I was driving for hired me. And I kept telling him, "Yo, man, if I was here illegally, do you think this company will hire me to drive this thing in the 48 states?" Like, dude, you gotta be retarded.
But I mean, the saddest part about it was you tried to defend yourself and he would not listen to you. And as
Nope.
soon as I, a white person and an American citizen, started quoting, like, because I already pulled up Google, I was already pulling up law on my phone. Like, I was like, I'm ready to go. And as soon as I stood up and started fighting with him, he was like, "You guys can go." And like, that's the saddest thing. And I mean, like, there was some stories on the news about a black person was being held by the police. And so what happened was he went to a gas station and he had a white wife and he thought he was going to do something nice for his wife. And so when he got off work late at night, he took her car around the corner to the gas station to fill it up. So when she got up to go to work in the morning, she didn't have to do it. A white woman was also at the gas station and called the police because supposedly it was suspicious for him to be black and putting gas in a car in the middle of the night. The police pulled up and said, "You match the description of somebody who committed a robbery." He told them, "I just came from my house." The only way that he matched the description was that he was black. And I mean, this is like a church going, like, you know, like a really good person. Not a thug, not dressed like a thug, a nice car. And the cops like had him in handcuffs. It wasn't until a white man walked up and said he came from the opposite direction, they let him go.
So they need to hear the voice of a white male before they
Yes.
release a black male?
Yes.
And why is it that every black person is a threat to society?
Yeah, they act like...
they act like they're afraid of the common black folk.
Yeah,
Like they
being
feel
black is a
intimidated.
crime.
Yeah, like black is a crime, and you gotta be afraid of them. And the excuses the cops are using that they felt threatened, homeboy, you're the one with the gun.
Yeah.
You're the ones approaching these vehicles with your hand on your holster.
I mean, I want to say a disclaimer. Our neighbor across the street is a detective for the city that we live in.
Yes.
And he is an amazing person.
Yes, he is.
And when you started getting sick, he helped me out all the time. Like, they are amazing people, but not everybody is like him.
No, and that's the problem we're facing. It's like, you cannot blame the whole police department. And when I say the whole police department, I'm talking about Minnesota, Florida, Sacramento, LA,
Atlanta,
Arizona, everywhere. You cannot put them all in a category because they are some good ones out there.
Yeah, like just like the pictures that are coming out in New York City. There's some New York City police officers that are taking a knee with the protesters, and then there's some New York City police officers that are plowing their cars into crowds.
Yes, that I saw that the other day. Cannot believe that. And they still got away with that. I mean, I haven't followed it up on the news. If you guys seen it, comment, let me know. I haven't heard anything yet, but dude, what was so hard of backing up? You came that same way and you plowed right into them. Mm-hmm. You could have just backed up and gone the other way. But you didn't. You, my friend, committed a crime by using a vehicle as a weapon and you got away with it? That's insane.
But
if I would have done that, best believe I'd be getting the chair right now.
But so you grew up in Los Angeles.
Yes, I did.
During the time of the Rodney King riots.
Yes, I did. So I have lived it once, people. I was 12 years old when it happened. And for anybody out you asking, no, I was too young to loot. So so I didn't loot. You know, my mom was strict about that. So no. But
your sister did get hit in the head with a can of beans.
yeah, we were at a shopping plaza, and she decided to stuck her head out the back door, like the back window, just as a, I think it was like condensed milk or something, hit her right on the forehead. But you gotta give her props though, because if it wasn't for her forehead, that window would have been smashed.
Your sister's gonna hear this.
It's all right. You know I love her. You know I love her. She was like, I don't remember that. That's because you got knocked in your head. No, but my point is like, I already lived through that. Like, I was 12 years old. I'm old. I mean, I have a daughter. You know, I mean, it's like
you have a daughter older than you were at that time.
Yeah, and it's like I lived through that, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't remember anything good coming out of that. The only thing I remember is after the dust settled, we didn't have any shopping centers to go shopping because they were all burnt down. That's the only thing that got us. I mean, like I said, the Rodney King thing, it should have never happened. Like the killings in Ferguson, you know, all these black guys dying for no reason. It's just like, that should just stop, dude, because it doesn't get us nowhere. It's just like, why? Like, Jesus. Like, and like I said, I already went through it with Rodney King. I was 12 years old. And then in, I think it was 96, I was in high school. It was a race war in my high school. To the point that when we walked to our school and crossed those gates, we had to go through metal detectors, dude. Like, it felt like prison. Like, quick shout out to Locke High School. But yeah, we had to go through security. There was police there, and then during lunchtime or like the little brunches or whatever we had, you could see the culture just separate. Latinos on this side and the blacks on this side, and it's like, you know, like the one Asian that went to that school is like by himself in the corner. You know, yeah. I mean, it was so racially separated, dude. It felt like jail for real.
But isn't it still like that?
It is.
Like, Marissa, you go to a school that is almost
primarily white kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
And your two best friends are?
Yes, Mexican, yes.
Quick shout out to the girls.
Hey, Justin Kalina. Well, yeah, I mean, most of my friends, we just stick together.
That's exactly my point. I was going to say that. You guys stick together, though, right?
Yeah.
See, my case is different. Like, I was raised in South Central. My best friends were Clyde, and he was a black guy, old black kid. I had Najeri as my next door neighbor. I mean, I got to say 80% of my friends were black. And I had no problem with it, you know, and I think that's the reason why I might be different, and I'm not kind of like...
Because minorities, like, okay, I feel like as a white person, I don't know how else to say that. Like, I am the definition of white. Before I met you, and I'm not afraid to say it anymore, before I met you, I was scared of people who weren't white.
It's a threat.
I was just scared because I grew up in a culture that made you guys out to be criminals and made you guys out to be something scary.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But then when you get to, you know, take a good look at me and actually find out who I really was, the intimidation went out the door,
I
right?
fell in love with you the moment I ever laid eyes on you.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
But I was still incredibly racist against you because I remember we went to the bank one night so you could deposit your paycheck, and you pulled your wallet out, and I was like, hey, I have a question. How do you have a bank account? And you were like, what do you mean?
Don't lie. You could just straight up say it. I opened my wallet, and she noticed the Social Security card in my wallet, and she says, you have a Social Security card? And I said, why wouldn't I?
Exposed.
Yeah, exposed.
Because I grew up in a culture where it was like, I grew up in a culture where we lived in a town next to a chicken plant where there were a lot of Mexicans. And they would speak Spanish in like Walmart. And I would go to Walmart with family members and they would be speaking Spanish. And I'm not going to name names, but my family member would talk about them speaking Spanish like they were committing a crime.
It's because, like I said, you can't tell who wants to be nosy and who's actually wants to be nosy.
But the first time I ever laid eyes on you, the first time I ever met you, you were speaking Spanish to someone.
Yeah. And that too, like majority of the people that I meet, they get surprised when I'm talking Spanish because they're like, "Oh my God, you speak Spanish?"
You should say something in Spanish.
No.
Oh.
Do you want me to say it with an accent? No.
No.
But that's exactly what this whole thing is about. Is like, you are from the Midwest. I'm from the West Coast. It is socially acceptable to have the pleasure to meet all kinds of races.
Mm-hmm.
Like in California, we're all in one pot. Like we cannot ignore each other.
And then Marissa comes from a mixed culture. So Marissa was born on the West Coast and then was brought to the Midwest.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Hey, you guys met me here.
I mean,
You met your wonderful stepmother here, so you should.
but like
We could've-
California.
Yeah, we could have been at the beach right now.
with the corona. Okay, anyways, moving on. Moving on.
That's funny.
So yeah.
No, but like then we moved over here, and then people automatically disliked us because they're not used to us.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I said, people are afraid, which they don't want to admit, but people are afraid of the things that they don't know, and they're so quick to judge about because, like I said, I might be brown, might be a thread in your eyes, but you get to know me and you'll be like, yo, this kid isn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
You're like the most mild, like sweetest, most gentle, kind, generous person I've ever met. To other people, not to me.
Yeah. But this is the major part about this whole, in my experience, is like, I'm not afraid of anybody.
You're kind to everyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not afraid of a black person. I'm not afraid of a white person. I'm not afraid of an Asian person. I don't give a flying duck if you are racist towards me. Why? Because that just makes me believe you're I'm trying to find out
Correct
words. Yeah. Because I don't want to offend.
I'm
But-
trying to get out of the habit of finishing your sentences, so I know exactly what you want to say, but I'm like,
Yeah, so
Biting
I'm
my
just,
tongue.
I'm just gonna swallow my pride here and just say, it's like you guys are just scared of the wrong reasons. Love each other, get to know each other. You will benefit from your neighbor. I mean, we are fortunate that we are mixed, but we have neighbors that actually appreciate what we do for them as well. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if people don't want to take the time to get to know you, they're always going to live in fear. Like that video. None of you guys caught it. I ain't trying to plug this in, but that black man in the park and that woman with the dog and all the things, you got to go watch it. I'm not going to promote it. But why? Like I said, love your neighbor. Help your neighbor. What good does it do to get into an argument when you know it's not going to go nowhere?
Mm-hmm.
That is the reason why I do not pay attention when you call me, not you, but like when people call me a Mexican, even though I'm not a Mexican. I've learned to accept that people will be who they want to be.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to change, it is not my place to make them change.
okay, well, we're very different because I feel like it's my place to make them change.
No, see that's where we're coming about. Yeah, because I mean I don't know what makes you feel guilty about this whole situation. I mean,
I
it's
do
not your-
feel guilty.
Yeah, but it's not your fault.
I do feel guilty because I watched that one day when was it you and your brother Marissa that got called Mexicans on your way to school or getting away from school or something like
a
that?
couple years back.
Probably. I really don't remember. Sometimes.
But I mean, like, I do feel guilty because my life has, I mean, I've done so many things wrong in my life. And nobody has ever looked at me and just immediately judged me. People look at me and smile at me. People look at me and they're just nice to me because I'm white and I'm blonde and I have light eyes and I'm pretty. And so, like,
Did she just say pretty?
I know. I was like,
I used to be pretty before I got fat. Okay, let me say a disclaimer there.
No.
Let me say a disclaimer there. I used to be pretty before I got
You
fat.
still are.
But I mean, like, and then I see how people treat you, and you're such a better person than I am. And Marissa, you're such a better person than I was at your age. And I see people judge you just as soon as they look at you. And I do feel guilty. I feel so guilty. And I want to punch everybody in the face.
I just feel like if someone does that to me and I do it back, then I feel like I'm just stooping down to their level.
That's exactly how I
And
feel.
if someone... Okay.
Was that an overhead high five
Yeah,
on my
yeah.
head?
If
Okay.
there's going to be a change, then you need to be the one to start changing it.
And this
You
is why I
can't
love
just
this girl.
You can't just change someone by telling them, oh, you have to do this, because they're not going to do it.
And everybody, this is my daughter Marissa, and she is my hero.
She's my hero too, because I think in this time of age, our generation, their generation, I apologize, is the ones that are going to get hit the hardest, because we still haven't accepted the fact that although we are living in the same world, we are different, whether you like it or not. You need to accept it. And if you can't accept it, then keep your thoughts to yourself.
So this is our challenge to you. Keep your mind open. Love each other.
You got to respect one each other. Like I said, there's no reason to fear anybody, you know. We already have a pandemic going on. That's already enough. But then we got people dying for no reason, for dumb crap.
Yeah.
That's just insane. Like,
Learn from each other.
try to focus on something first so we can all move on to the second portion of what we need to do to make this great again. And I'm not saying America great because I don't ever remember America being great, you know.
Because F Trump.
Yeah. We just need to stick together, you know. I just feel sad for their generation. My generation is right now, and I cannot believe I was born in the 80s and not a damn thing has changed. So whenever I see the news about civil rights movements and all that happened in the 50s and the 60s, and we still haven't accomplished anything, that's really something to think about.
Love each other.
Yeah. And it's the fact that it's kids and adults. Even kids are being oppressed.
Yes.
Like kids my age, 15-year-olds, even younger.
Yeah, well, not to mention kids younger than you are being taught to hate a different race because they're different.
Yeah.
So,
Like, I don't know. I can just say this. In our house, and even like when you're at home with your mom, because your mom is white, we don't see anything different about each other.
No.
Never. Like, we never have conversations about race or culture. Like,
Nope.
we might tease you sometimes. Like,
yeah, about our rice and our carne asada
Yeah.
habits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
but I mean, like, we don't. Like, I think the only
Discriminate.
conversation that we've ever had about race is when your youngest son asked you why your skin was brown.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hard. I mean, like, and that's not even the half of it, because when your kid asks you, hey, why are you darker than I am? And then realizes that he's mixed and he doesn't understand what mixed is. And then he turns around and there is a black person next to him and he's like, why is he darker than you? It's hard to explain, but if you teach your kids right,
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, very simple
Yeah.
conversation. It was just like, hey, some people are darker than other people, and it doesn't make you any different.
Yeah.
Some people just have dark skin.
till this day, my son will be 8 this month. Till this day, he gets next to me, pulls his sleeves, and goes like this. You're still dark, Dad. Yeah, it's never going to go away. And that's something we have to live with for the rest of our lives. Make great decisions. Stop this crap. This looting has to stop. It's not going to get us anywhere. You want to get your point across? Do it in a good old-fashioned way. Don't do it the trashy way. Keep it straight. Keep it 100.
Make a podcast like we did.
Yeah. Marissa?
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes it comes down to that, because if they won't listen, they have to do something.
Right.
Hashtag burn it down.
Yeah.
I mean, like, me and Marissa feel very differently about this than you do.
Yeah, I know.
Like, me and Marissa, I think I can speak for you when I say this, Marissa. They have, oh yeah, we're going way over.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that in a different topic about these riots and how I feel about this particular thing. Because
it'll come in episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2. Well, guys, stay humble. Love each other. Change your ways, man. We ain't going to get nowhere if we don't start somewhere.
Stop hating.
Today is the day we got to do this. Because if we're strong enough to get up and loot Target, Walmart.
We're strong enough to get up and vote.
Exactly. Make the change. You want that DVD Blu-ray player from Target? Do it the legit way. But also, vote for the right things, because at the end of the day, it is you. It is you that makes a difference. It is you that if you vote somebody that you want is going to help you change it, do it.
And it's not just presidential elections. You need to vote local. You need to vote federal. You need to vote presidential. And you need to vote blue. And you need to get these people out of the government.
Full disclosure. I'm not red nor blue.
I'm blue.
I'm not an American citizen. So I see the things both ways, and I understand that. But you have to make a choice, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Jose.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Marissa.
Signing off, and hopefully you join us for our next podcast, and we'll be talking about these riots that are happening right now, because they love it. I don't, because I already went through it. But again, stay humble. Thank you guys.
See you soon.
See ya.